Welcome in, Chiefs fans. You have a few more Chiefs on your roster right now as the Kansas City Chiefs front office wraps up the last day of the NFL draft, and they moved around. They were aggressive, and I love that. We're going to talk about the picks themselves. Dan can't help but smile, and we're going to tell you exactly why, because this is the way we kind of saw it coming. I'm pissed off about a couple of things. I'm happy about some others, and we're going to get to it all. Daniel, as much as I was happy that they took my guy Gelati, and I will start to say it correctly now, folks, after I heard him say it, you got to be just as happy, if not more. The best player available on our board was taken by the Kansas City Chiefs, but they got to wait, and he was your prediction. Tell me about what happened.
Man, this is exactly what I wanted. And obviously it's late, but you guys know I have been a Jalen Royals fan for months. This is going back to October, right when he got hurt. I did a scouting report, and I love the guy. I think that everything he does is exactly fit in Kansas City. And when you get to see it happen, you tweet out, like, you see some wide receivers go and you're like, hey, the Chiefs go get Jalen Royals like right now. And then they actually go and draft the player you're talking about. That's always a fun thing. I got a hair in my eye. But he's legitimately a perfect fit for them. He can play outside, he can play inside. He does what they want. They want him to be good in zone, to create separation in the routes, and to create yards after the catch. That's what he's going to do. It's a perfect fit for this offense. And even though he wasn't fully healthy throughout the process, he still ran a 4.4. He's faster than that. He is faster than that when he's fully healthy. So you see all of the tools, the ability to get separation with routes and nuance at the line of scrimmage. So when I saw, again, you guys, if you watched the Masters, the shot that Rory hit, I think this was on 15, that curts up to the hole where he just goes down the fairway and he's just like holding his club down. He's like, that's how I felt all day long. Like Rory striping the fairway all the way to the green on 15 at the Masters. Like, it was awesome because it's one of my guys. And when it's always nice to see someone get drafted that you love, that you've done the work on, that you feel a little bit of validation for, right? And so that was a really cool moment. Obviously, Ryan with Gelati as well. There were a lot of my guys drafted. I'll just say it right now. And another one was added via UDFA, a guy I also had as a top 100 player, and Jake Brenningstool, who is going to be on the Kansas City Chiefs roster. I got 5 of them. Brashard Smith is a guy I've talked about since the Senior Bowl. We know Josh Simmons. I did the review on him earlier. We get Noah Williams. We talked about it on day 2. And then you get and you get Jalen Royals. So it's been a very productive day. We'll see how it turns out. But the draft has gone very, very well.
There's nothing better. Thanks for all of you for being in here. Everybody say hi to Stevie Keys making an appearance. Been a while, Stevie. Good to see you. I appreciate you guys. We're going to run it down for you because it's been a lot of success, and you have had a great draft in particular. The way that it's come out, I went away from Omar about a month ago because I felt like I'm just going to be too much over the top of here. He was one of the guys that I felt was strongly fitted to help this particular defense. And so I would consider Josh one of my guys, Omar one of my guys, Gelati one of my guys. Yeah. Bossa I felt pretty dang good about just because of the safety background and what he can do. And so he was the second player taken today. And although I like Teddy Buchanan better, I have to admit, I did like Teddy better. Bossa fits that kind of, and there's 2 ways to say it. And Dan and I talk about this all the time. You can call somebody a tweener, and it means not so good at either. And you can call somebody a hybrid, which is the same damn thing, but they're good at both. Bossa is a hybrid.
Exactly. And when you get to see him, like, it wasn't just in the one-on-one drills at the Senior Bowl. When during team period, he got to cover running backs, and you see the explosive ability to turn his hips and accelerate. That's something we haven't seen in Kansas City since Willie Gay. And honestly, how many times did you see Willie Gay turn his hips and fly? It was more about triggering downhill. He wasn't really asked to turn his hips and get going. And yes, you do have a typo in the title.
Son of a motherless. Okay, Dan, take over. I'll be right back.
But yeah, it's fun to see. And again, Bossa was another top 100 player for me too. I think he was my linebacker 4 in the class. So there is a lot of different things that they offered. And for a team specifically on day 3, when you're looking at defensive line, an end, an edge, and different types of players that fit what you're looking for and what you need, getting a guy like Bassa where they did is honestly value, because it's not just what he can do as a coverage player. There's real upside for an all-around linebacker. He can trigger downhill, he can tackle, he can hit, and that previous safety experience is going to show in what he does in Kansas City. So it rounds out their linebacker room in a very beautiful and complete way.
Yeah. He was not linebacker 3 for me. He was linebacker 5 for me, but he was a top 100 that they get later in the round. And I or later in the draft. I'm sorry. I really do like that. We'll talk about what I don't like coming up here in a minute, but they rounded out with your guy, Rashard Smith.
Yeah.
Raw. I can't say it any better than that. Former wide receiver turned running back. I think he is a running back in Kansas City. This is not a selection to put him in the wide receiver room. That's what Royals is for. For those of you who are rooting against Sky Moore, you're Royals people. You're not Smith people here. But I do like what he brings in the ability. They could split him out, line him up on the line, I think. I think they could line him up as an H and give him some easier releases. But I think if he can work on his vision, particularly in zone, I think he's a guy that can grow into an actual tailback, third down back role.
Yeah, and you're still learning at his time, right? 1 year of experience as a running back. 1 year. You see the natural feel to play the position, though. And that's what I'm interested in for him specifically, because I think there are times where you do see the patience in zone where if he has some space, navigating traffic is something that comes with time and experience and comfort. He's not comfortable playing running back right now. It's more of a feel. So if he has space to operate, he can be patient and he can get into the second level. But when you do, that's when he clicks. And that's when it's, oh, you better have a really good angle. You better be able to catch up because he's going to run by you. And that's what the Chiefs have needed. They need someone that can take a crease and not just get to 4.4, 4.3 speed, but explode to it. Yeah. Pacheco has not been able to explode to his 4.3 speed almost maybe since he was a rookie. And that might still be laying out a little thick because of the knees. They come up so damn high that it's hard for him to do that. And again, he's fast, but he's not that kind of explosive where it goes 0 to 60 that fast. So I think that Smith offers a lot of upside as that pick 2. Pass protection is going to be some attempts and training. The effort and want to is there, but he is a former wide receiver, so that doesn't come easy to pass protect as a running back. So the most important thing about it is the want to for him specifically, so you can at least teach the technique and show him how to get it done. So this is a really, again, a good pick for them to develop a player, and it adds that explosive factor that they've needed in the running back position.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting ride, and somebody who can make an impact. Okay, here's what I'm pissed about. I'm pissed that Teddy Buchanan went so early. I had Teddy in the 4th. He went in the 4th. I thought that would have been a nice pick. I would have actually slightly preferred that just for fit and finish after making the front more robust to actually get a little bit more athleticism out of it. Both former safeties, one's still a safety for all intents and purposes. But that's what I was looking for. I'm pissed that they traded around and they didn't go get Ty Robinson. It was this close. Like, could have had Ty on this roster as well. That frustrated me because I could see some pretty things happening with 3 new defensive linemen. But I feel like that probably would have cost them Smith later without having that extra 7th to trade up. Yeah. I am also a little bit pissed because I think they could have gotten up higher had they probably attacked it a little bit better with the 2 7ths. They didn't go up that far with it to package. I think they could have squeezed a little bit more about it. Can't say I'm really pissed, but I thought overall I'm happy with the aggression that they showed today. What Veach traded on 4 of the 6 picks they took. And that I think says something.
It does. And this is a draft class that we told you was where scouting teams make their money. Front offices make their money. Teams that got better today, the Eagles, the Bills, the Chiefs, the typical teams that have really good scouting departments. They identify the players that they know they love. Obviously, Ryan was a big fan of Cameron Williams. I like Cameron Williams too. The Eagles got him like in the 6th round.
The Eagles got him and Ty. That's what I'm pissed about.
They also brought in Hollins Pierce as a UDFA.
And they all get to play for Stoutman, and now they're all going to be goddamn all pros for nothing.
So, yeah, this is where they make their money. The Chiefs didn't have enough day 3 picks to really do what teams like the Bills and the Eagles, I'll say it, even the Patriots did. While they took 2 special teamers, and kicker and a punter, they got better as well on day 3. Not saying the Chiefs didn't. They clearly got better and got max value, I think, out of the picks that they had, which is hard to do when you have 3 picks on day 3. So kudos to them for doing that. But this is what a draft like this is. In a down year, you need to identify the players that you want. They did that. They went and got those players, whether it was through a trade down for Josh Simmons or trading up to go get Noah Williams and multiple other players. Like that's what they needed to do. So that's why the Chiefs are consistently in the position that they are. They absolutely got better in these last 3 days. And the ceiling for this team over the next few years, assuming, again, that the injury does not hamper Josh Simmons going forward, the ceiling just got much higher in Kansas City as well.
Yeah. And remember this, as we come back to classes in the future, if we're telling you, hey, this class isn't great, it's not super explosive or whatever, there's a whole lot of questions about next year already as well.
Yeah.
This was a down year. Like there might have been depth at wide receiver, but it wasn't like super elite blue chips, right? Corner, same way. Running back, a lot of depth. Some people feel the top 3 were elite blue chippers. I never did. I felt that they were a tier below that. But what happened? When you don't have the volume or the eliteness at the skill positions, you take it back to basics. You go to the trenches. You get guys that can grind it out, that you can train up. You go physical. And that's a good way to come back from a class that maybe isn't boiled up to what the last 2 or 3 have been.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for, right? You never know what you're going to have next year. The next year's draft is a mystery. And I know people are saying it doesn't look good right now. We don't know. We don't know. We have an entire year of football to play. Players get better. They come out of nowhere, and they can be really good. Like Notre Dame, for example, has 2 weapons, running back and a wide receiver, that could be first-round picks next year. Like that doesn't happen for Notre Dame. That never happens. So you have to you got to keep an open mind with these things. And like the saying goes, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? For a lot of teams, next year's draft class is where it's at. Our team's not ready to compete yet, but next year it will be. When you stay in the moment, when you identify the players that are going to make you better and you're aggressive for that when you can be and calculating when you have to be, that's how good teams stay good. And the Chiefs are doing that right now, and they've been doing it for the last few years in the draft. Obviously, not every single pick that you have is going to work out. But I think the top end ones, when you look at the last 2 years with Rashee Rice, obviously off-field stuff aside, Xavier Worthy, I personally, again, this is my own bias to Kingsley. I think he's going to be a great guard. Yeah, so I think there's upside there as well. I think he's going to win that job walking away. Then you've got Jaden Hicks, who again was a day 3 pick, who is now your Justin Reed replacement. And there's more upside there as what he can do from a total perspective in my mind. So this draft in a few years, we're going to look back and we're going to see what was really good, what they hit on, and then identify consistently what the Chiefs do well. I think we know they go after corners that fit and work. And I think Noah Williams, I think you guys can be pretty happy with that guy. He's a lot of fun to watch. And just wait until what he does in Kansas City.
I agree. Gary, thank you. Glad you thought it was a great draft. Jonathan, I couldn't agree more about Cam Williams. Made me angry. Overall grade, Dan, what would you give it?
I'm on this one for me is a B+, barring some film reviews. I don't have enough personal information on Gelati or Norman Law. I had brief encounters with both. So I have to go back and watch them. So the grade can change to an A if, again, I go back, and both of them I feel have far more upside or even floor to be able to come in and give you more. I'm halfway through Gelati's tape right now that I'm watching. The floor is higher than I expected. I'm still I'm still
Looking
waiting
for the
for
ceiling.
I'm still waiting for the flashes more. So we'll get there. We'll see what happens. But I think that my mind for him on the floor is much better than I expected it to be. And then I'll watch a lot and then wait to see what you do with his film review. So I think B+ is where I'm at right now.
Okay, cool. Make sure you watch 2023 on Gelati. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Will do.
Track that. I'm a little bit lower only because I'm risk averse. I'm going to give this a B because right now I feel very confident about Josh Simmons, but there's no way to say that there isn't a significant percentage of a chance, maybe 10, maybe 20, I don't know, that he does never get to play. That's true. It's still an outcome. So I'm knocking it down just because there is that negative possibility. I'm not betting on that. I think he's going to be just fine. I think he's going to be the left tackle of the future, and I'm confident that they believe that as well. So I'm going to. But I'm just saying, I got to put the risk in there and leave it as a B. But thank you, Jesus. We appreciate you. We're going to run through some of the UDFAs here, folks. We're going to keep it pretty tight because I've been at a volleyball tournament shouting all day, and I'm going to lose my voice here pretty damn quick. Terry, any news on Kobe Bryant? I have not seen anything on Kobe yet. I'm a little surprised he fell out of the draft. I did not expect that. Yes, he's got some twitch problems. Yes, he's slight. I thought he's plenty on film to get himself. Shut up, Siri. I'm not talking to you. Apologies. Thanks. There are fierce battles at wide receiver. Sky Moore's people are coming for Sky Moore. I know some of you want him out of here. He's working hard too. Let's see what happens. Offensive tackle, absolutely. They have a lot of possibilities at offensive tackle. We'll see what happens there. Corner, yes. Williams could start, and I do mean Noel. Punter, sure. And I will add this. Right now, this is your depth chart behind Chris Jones. It is Mike Pennell, Jerry Tillery, Norman Lott, Fabian. I like Fabian Lovett Jr. Sr. I do like him, but I don't know where he's at development-wise. Tui Pelotu, who couldn't make the roster last year, and Siaki, who couldn't make the roster last year. That's not a battle yet, and I expect them to add more juice at defensive tackle.
It's a concern at defensive tackle. I like Mike Pennell. What happens if what happens if he gets hurt? They have nobody. They have nobody. So we identified defensive tackle as a spot where they needed to attack. They didn't really attack. And I think that's probably what frustrates me more about the Gelati pick. You could have gotten a run stuffer right there. You could have gone defensive tackle. I know that they have their own future stuff with defensive end. Many who just came back. You have Mike. Then you got George Colossus. You have FAU. You also, was it a need right there? Probably not. Probably not.
You know what I think they're banking on, and I was going to say this for Tuesday, folks, but I'll just tell you now. This is my theory. I think they're banking on this class was so deep and so thick with defensive linemen that there's going to be veterans cut and cut loose that they can go sign on the cheap.
I hope.
That's what I think.
I hope. I find it hard to wish cast that, though. You had the opportunity to do it, and they chose not to. Almost like they did with running back. They had the opportunity, and they chose not to until the 7th round. So there's some things maybe I would have done differently. That's all. I think Gelati might be fine. He might be just fine. He might be a starter in 2026. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I just feel like if you went with the pass rush upside guy and Lott, go right back to the well and get a run stuffer. Get the Joshua
Farmer. Or at least somebody that can do both.
Right. Yeah. But that was the thing. Like there was like maybe 5 or 6 guys maybe that you thought could give you both. I think that was my feeling of the draft anyway. And then it was like run stuffer and pass rush upside, and there wasn't much in between. And so that's me.
Letting Ty Robinson slip away is going to haunt me for exactly this reason, because that fit would have been incredible as well. Roughneck Actual, if you ever play Call of Duty and you want to find me on there, I'm Rogue6. You can find me pretty easily. I'm terrible, but I do enjoy the game. So this is thank you, Only Knives. This is the current list that we know of. Brindingstall, sorry, from Clemson. We talked a ton about him. Dan's already mentioned him as well. Badger was a guy that had some upside from Florida. I'm not a big Florida fan. I don't like the system. I generally don't like the work ethic out of that program, but we're going to find out what happens. Yeah. I told you guys about Issa Pole. Big Polynesian tackle, gave up 9 pressures last year in the Pac-12. I know it's not the SEC, but it's still a significant conference. I'm really pumped about him. Covington from USC as well, guy who did play behind, not in direct replacement of CRW. Brandon George, a smaller but very nimble linebacker. I don't know the Fresno State wide receiver. Do you?
No, I don't. I don't. There's only a couple of guys on this list that I know. Obviously, you guys know I know Jake and Issa. I think that's it. I haven't seen any of the other prospects on this list.
And you're absolutely right, King Chief. Really, really good. I like the upside there. Chris Anderson, Logan Brown has signed with the Vikings practice squad or offer whatever, UDFA. I'm a little disappointed that. I'm quite actually a little bit surprised that Cable Duke got drafted and Brown had to go to UDFA. I felt that they were fairly close on grades. I had them both in the 5th, I believe. Yep, I did. They're both better players than Jalen Travis, in my opinion. Travis is just bigger and longer. And I think some teams are banking on the physicality, and that's fine. I think Brown will make a roster.
Yeah, I think you're right, too. And just saw this real quick. Yes, Jonathan. If they can bring him in, yes, I like Junior Tafuna as a run stuffing defense tackle if he's not been signed yet. So that's another guy I would have drafted in the 7th round. I think I had a 6th round grade on him, but still, he's a good run stuffer. Same with Jay Toy. I love that pick for the Cowboys. Like, they needed run stuffing and they actually addressed it. So that was cool to see. So there were some guys there at the end of the 7th round into the 6th round that would have helped in that regard as well. And I saw someone also say I would have drafted Farmer at 66. No, I was just saying he's an option. We know that they met with him, so they were interested in Farmer and getting more information. Right. So I think the guys that I would have been comfortable at 66 were gone. So again, if you later in the 3rd round, Broughton out of Texas and Jamar Caldwell, who both went at the end of the 3rd round, would have been players that I identified to take for run stuffers at that spot. But they trade up to get Noah Williams, so I'm not too mad.
Aeneas Peebles did go. Okay, I had missed him today, so I was just double checking that. Okay. So yeah, Logan Brown did go. Let's see. Dub Freak, nice to see you, buddy. Woo! Well done, guys. You can rest and recover now. Yes, we need it. Thanks again for all the hard work, and was so happy, Dan, when I heard Royal's name was called today. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Freak, for your support and always. And guys, don't forget. I know the draft is over. OTAs start right around the corner. We're not slowing down. We're going to keep doing our thing. I'm in Vegas the second half of this week and for the weekend. So we're going to get some content out early, but don't go away. Don't quit on it because we're going to give you updates throughout OTAs. We will take a little bit of time between the end of the calendar year and camp. Don't worry, but stick with us for the spring. We have a ton to come for you. And I think it's very volatile right now. So you want to get the updates. Perry, thank you for the support. I know you don't like RAS opinion on the running back. It's not that I don't like RAS. Raz is perfectly fine. It is a historical comparison. It gives you like where they measure up to everyone else. It is not the end all be all. It's just like running down a list of times in the 100-yard dash. You have the times that they did that. You don't know the technique that they did. You don't know what else they can do that isn't in a straight line. That's what I think is conflated. A lot of people think that is the end all be all, best way to measure athleticism, and it's not. It's just a historical comparison about other people who have tested. That's it. So don't read me wrong. I think MathBomb does a great job. It's a great resource. And good Lord, he is fast as hell at getting it out. Not something that I can do. So like it is a truly great resource. But you just got to keep in mind what it actually is. That's all. Blessed be. What's your opinion on Wiley? Still think he's good. I still think he has potential. I have no idea if he can run right now. None at all.
I'll tell you right now, Jake Brindley still is a better player than he is. I'll tell you flat out. He's a better route runner. He's a better receiver in every aspect of being a tight end. But that's my opinion. And I wasn't a fan of the Wiley pick last year. I thought it was a waste of a pick because I just saw an athletic guy that doesn't really know how to play. And that's fine if you want to try and develop that, which the injury stunted the growth. It always is going to do that. Guys that you draft for athletic upside to develop, if they get hurt in the first year, it throws a whole wrench in the barrel. And again, Jake Brenningstool is a far better receiver than Wiley is, than Noah Gray is. The only guy currently on this roster, again, this is my opinion, Travis Kelce is the only guy that runs better routes than he does and gets open better than he does.
And I literally put in my notes, he's a poor man's Elijah Arroyo, because he's a receiver first. He is a tight end, but he's a receiver first. And that's the kind of thing that you need in this offense if you're going to replace Travis Kelce eventually. Travis learned to become a good blocker. He wasn't that guy out of the gate either.
You're right. Sorry. Travis Kelce is an all-time great. We saved caveats for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Any surprise cuts that you can see coming? I wouldn't call it a surprise, but I think Joshua Williams and Najee Johnson are on notice. I'm going to tell you. I thought they might bring in a day 3 guy, maybe a UDFA to compete. I think there are still some guys out there that they should do that with. Obviously, they're stomping the grass, but I think those guys need to be on their guard because the rook's coming for them. And I think CRW's got a ton of upside. If he makes a leap in this first to second year, they might be out of jobs.
Yeah, we got to see how OTAs, camp stuff, pre-training camp stuff goes, because obviously you're going to get the rookie mini camps here first. You're going to get to see some of the OTAs. You're going to see how they look, how they operate. And Josh Williams, what do you got? What do you got, buddy? This is we don't believe in you talk. Najee Johnson got signed because he's a special teams guy, but we just traded up to get Noah Williams because when you had to be counted on, they couldn't. They could not count on you to do anything. You have this training camp, probably this offseason workout stuff to show the team. And if you don't, you are going to get cut.
Yeah, I agree. Chris Anderson, I can't put Mike Caliendo in that same group.
I don't think any way you can, just because he has experience. I don't think he's any good, by the way. I don't think he's any good. But Andy Reid, he loves him some Mike Caliendo. And he loves him some guys with experience on the field. And guess what? He now has starting experience.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think clearly Kingsley's a better player potentially, but that experience factor is just what tips the scale for now. We're gonna end up on this one. Does this affect the McDuffie extension? I personally do not feel that it does. I don't care if they pay him $27 million. I think he's worth it at this point. And unlike L'Jarius Sneed, who had the potential to be a top 5 corner in the league, Trent doesn't have any injury history. We're not talking about him wearing out on a contract. Like that, there's no concern there. I think, honestly, what this does is it puts a little bit of pressure and a little bit of concern on George.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Because we talked about defensive end has a lot of players there, and Trent McDuffie's an all-pro. He's an all-pro.
Yeah.
There's zero impact on his extension whenever that does happen. But I think this needs to be I don't think that GK is not going to get signed, you know. I just don't think they're going to be in a hurry to do so unless he has a really good year. He has to treat this year much like a contract year in my mind, that he needs to show he has what it takes to be more than just a 2, 1.5 maybe, or a 1B. He's going to show that this year.
I agree with you. Miss Caroline, it's nice to see you. I thought we were going to wrap there, but we're not because you're here. Why did we not pick a guard even on day 3? The value is there. Are we hoping? Value at guard is always there. And I'll tell you the reason that we didn't see the Chiefs do this. I don't know about the we being me and Dan, if we would have, but it's because of this list. Sumatia, Caliendo with the experience, Trey Smith, who will be long-term, CJ Hansen, Hunter Norzad, all options, plus Wanye Morris, who I think can go into guard as well as options at guard. They have plenty of guard types. In the future, it's likely to be Josh Simmons on the left. I think Jalen Moore on the right, and maybe Ethan backing them up. We'll find out. maybe it's Issa. I think Issa could be a swing tackle in this league very easily. I think he's more prepared to play at the NFL level than Ethan was last year.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen what Ethan's become in the last year.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that when you guys don't get on the field, it's hard to see what they are, and you don't know. And the team does. So maybe the team doesn't feel necessarily that he's at the spot where he should be. But you never know.
Yeah. Caroline, I look forward to what you think. I'm looking forward on NFL 33, and everybody will be able to see it there. Gary, do you see this quarterback they drafted starting? No, I think it is right now a 50-50. What do you think?
Yeah, it's 50-50 for me. And plus you have to remember that the injury took some of the juice from Christian Fulton. So you have to remember that Noah Williams is he's coming off of another really good season, his best season as a professional, as a college football player, and he's going to be trying to prove himself. That's what this is. He got traded up for. He's juiced up. Like, he wants to come in and compete, and that's the guy that has that mentality. So I'm very excited about the possibility that he starts and then Christian Fulton comes in, or vice versa. Either one. I think those are your three: Trent McDuffie, Christian Fulton, and Noah Williams. I think those are your guys.
I agree. Carson Steele will be better this year. Thoughts? 50-50.
As a fullback, sure.
Yeah, as a fullback, absolutely. As a running back, I'm not so sure they're going to give him that chance. We'll find out. Jonathan, starting over Fulton? No. I'm talking about Fulton is likely one of the outside corners. Noel would be the other. Trent in the nickel. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's our bad for not clarifying.
And yeah, no problem. Sorry, Jonathan. And last one here. Why does Beach only go for players who can do multiple things or multiple positions instead of going for big name and one trick ponies? It's because he works for Andy Reid. That's why.
Good answer.
There's no other explanation. Would you take a flyer on Bond? I would not. I'm out.
The simple fact that he got not drafted at all, no thanks. Absolutely not. With the Chiefs' issues of other stuff, off-field stuff, don't even put it in the mix.
Yeah, I agree. Caroline, thank you, and thank you for your contribution to this draft cycle. We'll talk more about what we're going to do in the future, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, I'm going to take tomorrow off. I got to tell you, I'm going to need to rest this voice. Monday night, we're going to do the Q&A. We're going to see who they actually signed and what happens and what it's going to look like. So don't miss Monday night. We'll answer all your questions and go through it yet again. Thank you guys for being with us. Dan, thank you for keeping me on the straight and narrow, especially when I didn't see a prospect that you have already done a full eval on.
That's, again, guys, this was a longer year than I've ever had before. Obviously, there's some good, some bad about it, but I think we showed pretty well for this draft cycle. So thank you guys for being a part of it, for being here with us, and we made it. My brain is mush. It absolutely is mush. But guess what? 2026 stuff starts next week.
Yes, it does. And away we go. Have a great Saturday night. We'll talk to you Monday night. Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.